and we're trying to get this on, and the next person that is our district facility supervisor. So he was the next one in line.
Okay. If we vote on moving forward with this qualification, I would definitely highly encourage, or we should actually include our project manager with RF when it comes to the pricing and that. And the next step in this process, which would be negotiating with him.
Not to be specifically clear, I did talk to the project manager because she did call that after the qualifications were in, and she did express concern on why she was not included. I thought that we had to get it done. We had to get into this. It's not a necessity to get it done now. The services won't come into play till probably December or January. So I guess we took the wrong message at the beginning of June, that to get it in, and then now we hear that we do have time. So just to be clear.
Okay, I have a question. So can you just kind of explain it in a little more detail, Mr. Soto, what this process is, the testing and balancing, just so everyone kind of understands why we don't need to rush on this right now, or when this is going to be needed for the projects that are coming up?
This is to make sure the building is working as it should be with HVAC, heating, so forth, so on. And by the time our plans are finalized, that's when they're going to start getting involved. We're still trying to get the aesthetic looks. I know Jasmine Engineering has started working on the floor plans, but so we're not there yet where we need them.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, we do actually, like you said, have time to be able to go through this process again if needed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Soto.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mr. Quesada.
I'm just wondering, is it just a time issue, or is there some kind of savings that we incur by just keeping it in-house? Or I'm just trying to see what the issue is.
Madam Chair?
Mr. Madrigal.
Again, my understanding, sir, in my debriefing and my conversation I had with Mr. Soto, it was about just staying on top of the progress and not falling behind, and making sure that we had these services or a qualification of these services, they're available as needed. So again, like Mr. Soto shared, it was brought from our project manager's attention as something that we needed to move on. And earlier this summer, we didn't quite get there, so Mr. Soto took it upon, again, himself and his staff to go ahead and go forward with the qualifications. Qualifications were not awarding a contract to anyone. It was just submitting, again, to everyone that wanted to solicit for their business for, again, tests and balances. Those are the two companies that came back. So staff, again, reviewed them, and if you look at the information there between the two, there's no question of which one of them has provided more services and more tests and balances to more school districts than another. We, in my understanding, and I am aware, and I double checked, Mr. Soto, we've used both before in services in prior projects. Again, so it's not really any new, but it's one that staff preferred because of the qualifications, but it's not that we've awarded an RFP to anyone. That's the next step. But again, if the board wishes for us to solicit again for RFP for these services, for system tests and balances, we can do that. But we just wanted to be prepared and ready as we had been given the direction before.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr.
I don't think we have to resolicit. I think we just let our project manager review this RFP and then, RFQ, and if the ranking stays the same, it comes right back to us and we vote on it at that point. So I think, that's my thoughts. I don't think we have to go out again. Just have our project manager review this. And if what Mr. Madrigal said, that it was black and white between the two companies, in a month from now we'll probably be with the same PowerPoint and the same presentation that we have today.
Okay, so if we have to have our project manager review them, this item would have to be tabled, correct?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, what was the question again?
I said if we have to give time for our project manager to review these qualifications, then we would have to table the item until the next meeting?
Yes, ma'am. If the majority of the board wish is to, again, pull this item and to go back to
Well, not necessarily
there's
go
two-
back, just let her, give her the
There's two
opportunity to review these items.
There's two different things I think we can do. What I'll do is I'll ask Hector Rodriguez to come up to the podium and then double check. One thing we can do is go pull it and go back and have her included in it and have her review the qualifications and include her in that and bring it back. Or one is we can go back out and again open it up to everybody and everybody. Again, do the same process we did. So again, right now at this time, Hector, can you come up please to clarify that for me? And that way I can get some direction to the board, because if it's just to go have another meeting next week or the week after that to include Mrs. Sima in the decision making, or Richard, do you have anything else to add?
Sure. Yes. I guess what we're understanding from the board is to have our project manager review the RFQs that are being represented. The question that I'd have really just for the attorney is that if our project manager comes back and sees a different ranking than what we're proposing this evening, are we okay with bringing that separate ranking, that different ranking, if the staff differs from that opinion?
If the board directed the project manager to go back and do a review of the evaluations and rankings, it could be brought back to the board if they're going to be re-ranked or re-evaluated again. As long, I haven't seen the RFQ, as long as the professionals or service providers are, there's not a time crunch there in regards to their proposal being out for so many days, I would imagine that would be a problem, but Hector may know more, a little more about the RFQ itself, if there's a time limitation issue on that.
As far as time is concerned, we're still within the time frame that we need to be working within. Mr. Abundis is correct. A month from now, we may have the same results, simply qualifications coming in from engineers. Yes, we can come back and rank them with Ms. Azima and bring it back at a later date. Because as Mr. Maduel stated, these are simply qualifications. That's all they are. There's no money involved here.
All right, Madam Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Sure. Would
Yes,
like
Mr.
to have a
Abundis.
substitute motion then?
Chair. I'm
Yes,
sorry, go
Mr.
ahead.
Abundis.
Well, I mean, we're
Mr.
saying, basically, we're saying that Mr. Hernandez, I'm sorry, Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Soto are not capable of ranking somebody that applied or submitted their RFQs when there was clearly
Sir, I don't
items
think
that were
anybody
left
stated
out. So the items that are left out of the RFQ process, again, it's just an RFQ. It's just an RFQ. It's not awarding an actual contract with anybody. So if there was that much of a difference in point system, why are we going to delay this another 30 days?
Well, I don't think
That's
anybody
just
said that
my
they're not
statement.
qualified, sir. I don't think anybody stated that. Thank you. Mr. Abundis?
Yeah, I think it's just being consistent with our past practices, Mr. Oreste. But I would like to do a substitute motion to postpone. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Attorney. I want to postpone this.
Maybe suspend.
Well, I wanted to read where once the project manager sees it, they bring it right back to the board.
Right. And I believe that Mr. Moreno brought this up before. Suspend is the proper way where you bring it back to the board.
Okay, suspend to the next meeting where our project manager reviews the RFQ.
I'll second that motion. So we have a motion by Mr. Abundis, a second. All those in favor? All those against?
I'm sorry, Woody.
We had a motion?
We were going to open it up to discussion? We're just going to go straight to vote?
Yes.
Well, we already had
There-
discussion.
The second is alternate motion. So you go to the alternate motion and you go to discussion, an alternate motion.
Whenever
Okay.
they change the motion, you got to go to discussion.
Sorry.
So, I mean, it's like.
So we had a
to vote.
second, and I apologize. So discussion?
All right. Real quick, can I ask a question to Mrs. Sima? Mrs. Sima? You know, I just wanted to get your opinion on this process. Do you feel that it's something that you would like to be involved in, or you felt that you should have been involved in?
that's, I guess, the prerogative of the board. I was hired to manage this bond, and tests and balances as part of the commissioning. So it kind of something that I brought in back in 2006 bond by virtue of writing the RFQ and bringing quite a bit of integrity and principle in how these things get done. Test and balance means balancing of the mechanical system, which works a lot with the commissioning services. So it's a very critical part of the project from mechanical engineering aspect of it. I'm the licensed mechanical engineer who holds that process. I think the problem is that the board doesn't know the specifics of it. This project doesn't need to. This RFQ is a ranking, meaning that rank number 1 that is ranked by a staff has to be entertained for proposal. And I have a problem with that.
And that's the reason that I wanted to ask you. The other
because the price is high, and I had a problem. That's why I brought the second company in on bond 2015 and the fall project to bring the price down to the fourth of what it is. In fact, if you go with the staff recommendation, I make more money because I have a markup. I'm just trying to help the district when I asked the question why I'm not involved. When I wrote it, when I offered it.
Opinion. Also, if we can have Mr. Blakeney involved on this next one.
He always has been.
I think I would be a little, because I don't know who that other gentleman is either. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So at this time, we have a motion to suspend the item until our next meeting. And we have a second. All those in favor? All those against? Motion passes. Moving on to individual items. Adopt a resolution fixing and levying, I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay. Consider and take appropriate action for property insurance coverage for a one-year term effective September 1st, 2016.
Motion to approve item A. I'll second that.
We have a motion from Mr. Mancha, a second from Mr. Quesada. Discussion? Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All those against? Motion passes. Item 6B, adopt a resolution fixing and levying an ad valorem taxes for the Harlandale Independent School District for the year 2016 and directing the assessment and collection thereof.
I'll move so that we can discuss this, ma'am.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Bundis?
I move that property taxes be increased by the adoption of the tax rate of 1.5288, which is effectively a 9.25% increase in the tax rate. The total tax rate consists of a rate of $1.17 for maintenance and operations, and actually 3.3588 for debt services.
Second that.
Okay.
We have a motion by Mr. Bundis and a second by Mr. Mancha. Discussion? Did you have a question, Mr. Uresti? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. No discussion? All those in favor? All those against? Motion passes. Item 6C, consideration and possible action to approve the competitive seal proposal method to proceed with procurement of construction services for the Terra Wells, Leal, and Central Office parking lots. Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Abundis?
so move as read.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mr. Madrigal?
Yes,
Discussion?
I just want to bring to the board's attention that, of course, in my cabinet meeting this morning, Mr. Soto brought to my attention that, again, there's a certain section of the parking lot at central office that's not going to be included in the original, what our board or what we believed that we thought would be a part of the scope. It's a small section, but it's not included, and I'd like for Mr. Soto just to make sure that we're aware of it. Mr. Soto, can you kind of share with them what you shared with this morning?
It's the section where there's an entryway from where the superintendent pulls up, where there's some car stops. If you're facing central office on the backside, it's the far side to the left. There's some car stops, and then there's another paved area. It's about a 50 by 100, 120 area that is not included in this project. So just want to let you guys know. I just found out Friday because of all the other schematics. I finally got a site plan going over with our project manager and the CDS Murray. I asked more or less what would that cost if we did that section. He just said just top of my head, 15 to 20,000. So just to let you guys know.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Abundis?
so what were they going to put in its place? Grass?
It was not going to be touched. It was just going to be relined, white marks.
Okay. Is there a picture of this by any chance, or a drawing, some kind of?
Again, ma'am, I got it Friday, and I couldn't add it, and but I can send that to all the board members tomorrow.
So this is actually located by your office, or in the
Ma'am,
back of
it's the
the?
area that's located, like Mr. Mancha was explaining to me right now, it's basically, let's picture the entrance to the CNI office from the parking lot, right? And if you go to the left toward the entry where our board and staff come into the superintendent's office, well, when that wall makes a turn there, from that area to the sidewalk to the street where there's a cut, a driveway, that area is not addressed in this, in the parking lot for central office. That I was understanding that our board was, it was all included, and so it brought to my attention that it's not, and I want the board to be aware that section is not included in what they program.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Quesada?
I guess my question would be, is it something that was presented to us as being included, or is it something we just mistakenly?
Actually, Madam Chair, if you look at I'm looking at the photos from last week, they're in your board book. Yeah, all that section is not highlighted. If you go to your board book and go to last month's board meeting, and it's in there. It's on page 116. Yeah, I noticed. You can see exactly where he's talking about. 116? Page 116 from last month. You can see where he parked, and it's not being addressed.
Yes, Mr. Madrigal?
I just wanted the board to know that, I just want you to know that was not included, and I just, later on, I want us to come back and find out if it wasn't. We need to put grass in that area and use the rest of the parking lot, that's fine. It's just I want everybody to know that it's not included, the original, like Mr. Wood pointed out, so it wasn't included, the original. Mr. Soto, and I don't know if it was, but it's not, and so I want to read it.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Quesada?
I guess the question would be, is this something that we need our attorney to look at and to confirm and to double check? Because I mean, if, again, I know there's a picture in the board book, but if it was represented to us, you know, that it should be included, then they need to include it. And I would feel more confident moving forward if our attorney took a look at it, double check that. Woody?
right, there you go. You haven't entered into a contract yet with a contractor to provide these services and also construct the parking lots. And I believe that's probably when we're going, or the district will make a determination on the scope of the contractor services. Right now, you have a scope. It's going to be going out for bid that does not include that certain portion of the parking lot. So if you want to include that within the scope, it needs to be known to the contractor when they're presenting their proposal.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Madrigal?
Mr. Soto, do you have an idea, or have you had an opportunity to look into what possibly it would cost for that additional area?
Again, CDS Mary just said it to the top of their head. Again, it's not a solid, but he's saying in the range of 15 to 20,000 was his estimate.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Moreno?
With that, Mr. Soto, I know the last time it was, I guess it was noted to us that since I guess the parking spaces that we were going to be losing, we were going to have a difference of, what was it, $5,000, $7,000. I don't know if that would be equated into being able to, I guess, furnish that type of area over there, like you said, since it's already 15, 20,000.
Yes, they did calculate the savings, so that would, no, the 15 and 20 doesn't, that was just an estimate that he had. The 5,000 had nothing to do with it taking away from 15 or 20. It was just 15 or 20 to add it on. And that, again, it's an estimate, is what they gave us. It was just from the top of the head while we were meeting Friday.
Well, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Lewis?
Yeah, I would be okay to upgrade that a little bit because, I mean, just aesthetically overall, I mean, everything else around it, it's like that little house right there by the Alamo Dome that the Historic Society didn't want the city to tear down. You have the nice Alamo Dome and then that little house right there. So I would say if someone can, do we have to modify the motion to maybe include a pricing on that, or just sharing this out?
Madam Chair, I have a comment on this because I was involved in it. May I give?
Yes, Mrs. Zima.
Okay. Basically, we recommend to have this part included, even if you have to put it as an alternate. Mr. Moreno was correct. There was a $5,000 credit by virtue of reducing some parking space. The cost estimate that we have done as estimators from our firm is $21,600. Taking that $5,000 off of $21,600 is $15,600 extra. But it's worth going forward.
Yes.
If we are over budget, at that time you can eliminate it, but I think we can make it work. Because it's superintendent's area, and I think that is a good idea to go.
What motion do we have to make tonight, Mr. Woody?
Yeah, I would include that within your motion if you're wanting that part of the project.
Who made the original motion, Ms. Cáceres?
Okay, I believe it was Mr. Quesada. You made the original. Who made the original? Mr.
I think it was me. It was me. Okay, so now.
So you made the original.
I want to add, let me amend my motion to approve the competitive seal proposal method to proceed with procurement of construction services for Terrell's Leal and Central office parking lots to include the section as discussed this evening.
As an alternate.
As an alternate.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Abundis and a second by Mr. Mancha. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? All those against?
Mr. Madrigal was worried that
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I just want the board to know, like I was telling with Mr. Manchas and Mr. Quesada, we're kind of picking on, again, it's just the idea that it wasn't going to look like complete like Mr. Abundis shared. Again, we do have a number of people that do use that interest besides myself, and we've had some people do turn their ankles over in that area. We're very familiar with it. And so again, I appreciate just wanted the board to know that it wasn't included and they did provide us with that information. But we didn't want to move on and have this item approved without our board being aware of it. And again, but thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mondragon.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Woody. Wilson.
also I'd like to, if we could, go back to an item the board's already approved, just to make sure that it's clear on the action that was taken.
Which item, sir?
It's 6A. There was a motion made and it passed. And I was just speaking with the administration in regards to that item. I think there was a recommendation by the administration that Alliance is going to be the provider.
Affiliated.
Excuse me?
Affiliated.
Affiliated. Excuse me, I'm sorry, affiliated. So I wanted to make sure that when you made that motion and approved it, that's who you're approving to provide that coverage.
So we're going back to item 6A.
Yeah, because there was a motion made, it didn't specify on what you were adopting, so I took it that you're adopting the recommendation made by the administration or by staff. And I believe the staff recommendation was affiliated. So if that's everyone's understanding, then we can move on.
Okay. So we're going to go back and amend this motion?
No, I just want to make sure that it's clear that you understood the action you were taking.
It was based on what was presented in our package, which was the staff
correct.
recommendation.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. So moving on to item D, 6D, hear and take appropriate action on the modifications to the Carol Bell and Vestal Elementary School project. Ms. Azima?
Yes, ma'am. Can you please ask me the question?
It's item 6C, hear and take appropriate action on the modifications to the Carol Bell and Vestal Elementary School projects.
Yes, ma'am. Paul Molina from our office is going to be presenting it since he's been involved. So.
Thank you, ma'am.
Board members, Mr. Superintendent, and the staff, thank you for having us here this evening with you. I'd like to introduce Keith Wendrick and Conrad Martinez, both with RBK. We're here this evening to present to you the revised and improved exterior elevations for both Carol Bell and Vestal Elementary Schools. As you recall, the last time we were here, the board wasn't all that pleased with the exterior look of the campuses. Last week, we met with the principals of both campuses, along with the bond committee. We presented the exterior elevations to the bond committee. They were well received. And we'll present those to you in just a moment.
Let me just say real quick that we have the pictures here. I know you're trying to put them up right now. Okay. It's beautiful. I mean,
thank you. I think RVK, the designers of the project, did a fantastic job.
RVK really came through, man.
And they
Madam Chair.
They listened to the board.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Abundis.
Okay.
Actually, I personally prefer the old Carol Bell to what was presented to this week. There's no color at all. I mean, these are built like for high schools. They're beautiful designs. Don't get me wrong, but the old Carol Bell. I know we had concerns with Vestal, but I thought we all agreed the Carol Bell, the way the color scheme, the awnings, and all that. Kind of like the way Adams is, you see that colorfulness as you walk into the campus, and we took all that away. Make them look very professional, more like of a high school setting, but I'm just one board member, and those are just my thoughts as you get ready to present.
And Mr. Abundis, these modifications are not the only consideration for the board. The board can always have a prerogative of going back to the other options that was presented previously for either one or both. But these are just modifications for consideration. We can always go back to the previous one. And we have it here too.
Yes. As you can see, the major revisions to the exterior were the changes, brick color, some accent bricks, horizontal brick colors, and just the different tones of brick to give the building some interest, and the demarking the front entry to the campus, which was a concern of the board. As you see here, the entry to the campus is well identified. We will have some building letters, school name on the building. This is the view of the campus from the front.
We all stop showing off.
What the elements that you see on the roof are the mechanical room penthouses. They would be out of sight when you're looking at them from the ground. You wouldn't see them, but they were able to free up some space on the ground floor.
One of the reasons that we have rooftop penthouse is to hide all the mechanical equipment. This was as a result of trying to put as much daylighting in windows and having as much perimeter classrooms with windows as well. So in order to maintain that 66,000 square feet, which was the lowest square footage we could have, the mechanical equipment is going in a penthouse on the roof.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Uresti.
I like the entire design. I just have the same question I ask every time we look at the school, the entrance, the drop-off off of Pleasanton Road.
The city is working with the team in trying to approve the extension that you were asking. So they have received the site plan, the drawings, and the new revised floor plan is going to them also. So we will be having a meeting with them in the next few weeks and bring it back to you as far as where the interest is going to be approved.
Okay.
These are listed as both items together though, right? On the agenda?
Yes, but we were hoping that we would show each one separately because you may want to go back to the previous design and approve that in lieu of this on Carabel or approve this one. But Vestal is completely changed as well.
This campus that we're looking at now is Vestal Elementary School. It's a dramatic change from what you had seen previously. The front entry has a tower component that identifies the entrance to the campus. And also we added those same tower components to different parts of the building at the corners to shorten the lengthy appearance of the building, which was one of the concerns. Here also we created some interest in the building by using the different brick colors, the lighter brick and the darker brick, and some horizontal banding and brick framing around the windows and arches over parts of the windows. And this brings some historical elements and components that you see here in San Antonio from earlier buildings. I think in both cases, it softened up the appearance of these campuses so they're not as institutional looking.
Yeah,
I'd like to move to approve both of them, ma'am.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a
Just real quick.
motion and a second.
I'd like to add a comment.
Discussion.
Actually, these campuses would be perfect if they were feeders to Harlem Nomero. These kind of remind me of Harlem Nomero. If you notice, McCollum's there's some vibrant to that, which would go to. I didn't agree with the old Vestal, but at the old Carabel, I thought we were all kind of in agreement. There was a lot of windows in the front by the library. The awnings were colored, so I thought that design was a little bit more elementary than these. So like I said, these were more, if they were feeding to Harlandale Middle and Harlandale High School, this design would go perfect with that. Like I said, but tonight as a parent, and if I was a community member in those community, I would go with the more color scheme. So I won't be. I just want to stay. It's not that I don't support you guys. I just support the other ones, and the ones when what's on the floor is these plans. And I think I think as a parent of 3 children in the district, I think they would appreciate more the color scheme. Thank you.
So let me understand this. Mr. Abunis is stating for the record that you like the old Caravelle with the new Vestal. Is that what I'm hearing?
But I'm voting, since they're together, I'm just going to vote no for everything.
Well, they can be separate. It doesn't matter. Whatever the directive of the board is, that's what we're going to do. We have the design of the boat. The floor plan will not change, Ms. Caceres.
You
by
can't
any
change
form
the
of shape.
agenda, man. We have to vote on them together.
I understand. I mean, I personally, just me, my personal opinion. I like color too, but I like these also. And I think I really like the way Caravelle looks, but I'm not very fond of the entrance at Vestal still. For some reason, there's just right there at that area, right, it just looks kind of odd the way that awning comes out of the brick for me versus the way Caravelle looks. I mean, I do agree somewhat with what you're saying, Mr. Abundis, that the color makes it look like an elementary school, and it's more appealing when it comes to the elementary level for an elementary school. I do like that entrance right there for Caravelle, but I think it looks way better than what Vestal does still. That's just my personal opinion on it. So I don't know that we're going to come to an agreement tonight. I don't know.
Can we basically, Madam Chair, go back and work on the entry and make it more colorful and bring it back in the next special call board meeting you have? And then have them a separate item agenda so the decision could be made as to if the old Caravelle will be taken or this Caravelle. Same thing with the new Vestal versus this Vestal. But there is, talking to Paul, he says that there's ways to make that front entry more colorful and maybe more aesthetically oriented. We just need at least another week and a half.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Mr. Mancha?
I like these two designs very much. At Adams, they decided to put a lot of color and a lot of, but it wears out and it starts absorbing the black from the rain. And it's very hard to take off. And once you develop that, I mean, no matter how much you spray it, and I've seen the guys work on it real hard. This right here, I mean, this to me is something that's going to last a long, long time. Just the work itself.
It's a brick veneer throughout, which is the best product that you can have for maintenance because.
Madam Chair.
And also, you give us a directive of looking at Harlandale Middle School, so that's what we were doing.
And that's what we were sharing over here, that
Madam Chair,
does kind of touch a little bit of the style of Harlandale Middle School.
yes, sir. Madam Chair, what I was saying, the last board meeting, the board directed us to also look at Harlandale Middle School because the board liked that school quite a bit, so there's a lot of that character here.
And Madam Chair, I think that's something we told them at the last meeting, that the front of, I think it was Mr. Abunis that brought it up, that the facade that's on Harlandale Middle School was what we wanted to carry over. And that,
No, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you? Who was it? Oh, it was Casada, okay. Well, either way, I mean, yeah, it's a very beautiful school, so we are carrying that same image over right now. So, again, I love them both. I think they look great. Again, I'd like to call for the vote.
Well, I agree that I'm not going to call for the vote just yet, sir, okay? Just because I think everybody should have a say-so too. But I agree that this probably would last longer from what I'm being told. Is that correct? Versus what the color schemes would, like Mr. Mancha mentioned?
Yes. Because metal doesn't last as long as brick does.
And I agree that Harlandale Middle School still looks like it's in great condition after all the years that it's been there.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that's definitely something that's important. But I don't know if any of my other board members want to give their opinion
Just real
before
quick,
we
Madam
take
Chair.
the vote.
Just real quick.
Yes.
Actually, I was going to bring up Madam Juan, because that was one of the schools I was going to reference to. But, I don't think because of the lack of maintenance, I mean, that's really lack of maintenance, so they're not taking care of those colors. But if it was properly maintained, those colors should stay vibrant throughout the years. That school's only not even about 10 years or so. But, I mean, just when you walk in, you see the balls all in color and stuff like that. So that kind of sticks out, and you're walking into an elementary. And it was just interesting that I mentioned Harlan Romero. I must have not been paying attention last week for those 2 minutes. I didn't even realize that they referenced Harlan Romero at the last board meeting, so I have to apologize for that. I just brought it up because, that's what when I saw those pictures, that's Harlan Romero. So yeah, so that's what I did last month. But those are my comments. Like Tomas, I think most of us are ready to vote.
Okay. Mr. Moreno?
I think I've been pretty consistent on what I've said. I mean, I prefer these much more so than the other previous ones. Additionally, I'm very against any color, pretty no nonsense. And I think I've been pretty adamant about that every meeting that we've talked about it. So to me, these look much more phenomenal. And I don't know if it's just because being more centered towards I guess the inner part of the buildings, but they look well, especially with the definition that's been provided and the added aesthetic appeal. I mean, perhaps maybe with Vestal, but for the most part, I mean, I'm 95% on both of them.
Okay. So thank you very much for your hard work, RBK, though. I think you definitely stepped it up and brought us something I think that we all were pretty pleased with, so for the most part. And so we're going to go ahead and take a vote. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All those against? Okay. Motion passes. Okay. So item 7, convening closed session is authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Section 551.071 through 551.084. Item A, the board will discuss the recommended regular personnel report, TGC 551.074. Item B, consultation with attorney regarding legal issues related to Harlandale ISD versus Train, cause number 2012-CI-14254, the 57th Judicial Court, Bexar County, Texas, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071. Item C, discuss the superintendent's evaluation, compensation, and contract extension, TGC 551.074. And the time now is 7, oh, sorry. So those are the items.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? The time now is 7:52.